honestly, first I just saw the video. I said, why this boy? Why him? Because I don't know him. He just shows some English. English is good. Some demonstration. Yeah,
all right,
Mandarin's all right. But my colleague, my stunt team tell me, oh, I said, how's the young guy? He said, good, learn fast, clever. Whatever he learned is so fast. I said, okay. Until on the set, the acting good, very good. Fighting, okay. 合格怎么说?
Acceptable.
Acceptable. Then, most important is behind the scene. When we are not on the screen, I was in the motorhome resting. Then I sit there, I see the corner, I see a young guy. I said, wow, yes, he will be a success. Because some young talent, cut, cell phone.
Yeah, right.
Right? Then cut, cell phone. But he always training, jumping, training. Because he's not in front of me. He don't know. I was the pit. Yeah, watching him from. I think he was success.
It stays true to the themes of the original. So if you're a fan of the franchise and you've been, whether you're a fan or not, it works. It works as a standalone. If you're coming in, not knowing anything because you're entertained by Li Fong's story. But if you know of the franchise, then it's a richer experience because you're getting pieces of the mythology, the legacy, and thematically, the elements that made the Karate Kid what it is today are still true in Li Fong's story. Fish out of water, new kid in a new town, product of single parenting, dealing with loss, family loss, his brother, where in my case it was his Daniel LaRusso's father, positivity, mentorship, being the best version of yourself, when to go through and push through to the overcoming your obstacles. Those are all, I could go down. It's a list of a lot of things, but they all connect on a human level because we've all experienced that. So it's relatable. What makes it entertainment is the spectacular fight sequences, but the heart and soul has to be on the human side. Otherwise, it's, just a video game, and there's enough of those out there. So we care because of the human factor. So I'm excited for new, young fans to enter the franchise through this new 2025 version of chapter in the story, and then they'll back themselves into all the previous chapters. It's pretty unique.
You can't really hide taking a hit, is what I've learned, is because what they really want when you get hit is the hit and the reaction, right? That's your job as an actor. So every hit that I took, I basically really had to take. Working with Ralph and Jackie, I've been fans of them for my entire life thus far. I've been watching these movies since I was a kid. Every single one I've seen. Jackie's Karate Kid I saw in a theater with my mom when I was in elementary school, and Ralph's films, when I was in middle school, because my aunt showed them to me. These are movies that for 40 years they get passed down from generation to generation. So to be here with the two of them making the next chapter in the franchise, it's a pretty insane sort of full circle.
You want to hear the story, my story, real story. The story is that when I was a young kid, was a stunt guy. And that time, suddenly, the stunt movie, action movie, not popular anymore. Then we sit down in the dojo, say, what can we do? Nobody hire us, run out of the job. Some of my students, my friend, I might go to learn some carpenter. I said, I might go to Australia, my parents, my father, to learn some chef. And just depressed. And I'm talking about many 40 years ago.
41.
41. Then suddenly the Karate Kid comes out. I said, everybody buy the ticket because every action movie we're going to see it. We love action movie. Then we're going to see it. Some action movie just beat, fight. Then I see the Karate Kid, the philosophy, the love, and the positive energy, and it brings me up. Then after the movie, we look each other, go back to dojo. Yes, training. Don't let the life knock us down. We have to get back up. You know, the same, we get back up, we train, then suddenly another Rocky comes out. Then we see the Rocky, oh, I the tiger, wow. You know, we training every day. Then even some of they really give up. Then only few of me, we training, some now becoming action director, some becoming a director, I become an actor. Then luckily, something brings me up. Then 20, some years later, 40, then Will Smith called me. Jackie, I said, hi, yeah, I want to do a movie. I said, great. You and me? No. I want to remake Karate Kid. I said, wow, good. But sorry, I'm not Kid anymore. Not you. You are the Miyagi. I said, huh? Then finally I realized I'm not young anymore. I said, okay. Then we do the Karate Kid. 15 years later, then they call me, do the part 2. You have a Miyagi and Daniel. I said, it's just like a fame, you know, from like a circle. I'm the nobody. Then Jackie, then Karate Kid, then I met him. Now we have we both now is like a Miyagi. He's like a young Daniel and Jackie. If this kind of movie work for me, I think work for everybody. Good, positive energy, good message, lots of action, family movie. Everybody can go to see it.
Yeah, and to share it in the theater is, you know, it's a communal experience. I never forget seeing the first film in a full theater and people jumping out of their chairs and rooting for this kid and this story, and to have that opportunity for this generation to experience that together. It's multi-generational entertainment. And so to share that experience is, you know, it's cool on your phone, but it's awesome in the theater.
It's been a lot of fun, and I got to meet some really, really wonderful people. I got to meet, you know, heroes of mine, people that I grew up watching on television, and to be able to be the person who gets to carry on the torch of, you know, the legacy of this franchise, which is so beloved. It feels like a really good, like a great honor.
This is my favorite part of the interview process, is bragging about Ben in front of Ben, because it makes him so comfortable. He loves this part so much. And as a Canadian, I appreciate your Minnesotan-ness.
Yeah, I'm Minnesotan and Chinese.
So this is like literally the worst thing that could possibly happen to you.
Okay.
And that is one of the reasons why he's so good in this movie. Because you see that humility, dedication, hard work. He is a decent, just an inherently decent and good person. He's also very charming and he's very funny. And one of the most impressive things to me off camera, which is what you see on camera, is that his reaction to taking on what is a really significant burden. It's not an easy thing to be the lead of a movie, and it's really not an easy thing to be the lead of a movie where there are already high expectations going in. And his reaction to that was to work harder. Mm-hmm. He showed up every day prepared. He trained like a demon to be able to pull off these fight sequences, and they look amazing. He was always kind. He was always gracious. He was always on time. He always knew his words. And it is a beautiful thing to see this young man get rewarded by this fantastic film that was built around him. And as a fan, for me, to see the baton get passed from generation to generation to generation, and now having the opportunity to introduce my child to the new Karate Kid, I cannot tell you how exciting that is. And he just absolutely knocked this performance out of the park.
He crushes it. So now you have it. Now you have it in stereo. Now you have it in stereo.
Years of therapy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the preparedness, the dedication, the not taking any of it for granted, understanding that the stage has been set, and showing the respect, whether it be for Jackie, the franchise, myself, the previous filmmakers from 40 years back to today. There was an inherent understanding of that as soon as we met, and that's just was an inspiration for me going forward. I mean, I had that with some of the young actors on Cobra Kai as well. But, you know, paying forward this legacy and handing it off to Ben to bring it to this next generation on the big screen. You know, I'm super excited for it. I'm excited for his ability to understand comedy and humor in the moment. So you have that Jackie Chan-esque style that he did. It feels like a young Jackie Chan at times. Yet when we went into our Miyagi stuff and I came in with stylistically, you know, how I learned this, and you know, he was very open-minded and open to finding it and adjustments, and so that was, you know, it was like the give and take of creating a language, which is in storytelling. So yeah, I'm excited for him. I'm excited for him, and I'm excited he had a lot more fighting than I did.
I mean, this movie, it's that kind of movie. It's a movie theater movie. The journey that this character goes on, it's grounded, but it feels, you know, it feels epic at the same time, right? And to go to a theater and to watch these fights, which are intricately choreographed. We shot, you know, it's to make one of these fight scenes just for one move, we would shoot 10, 11, 12, 13 takes until we knew that it looked perfect. Because that's what we know, that, you know, when you see it big, it demands that scrutiny. And we wanted to make sure that we were delivering fights that were, you know, it's the kind of things that you haven't seen very much in films yet. It feels like a new way of shooting these grounded action sequences. And yeah, it feels dynamic and cool. And I think you only get the full experience of that if you go see it in a big theater.
Yeah, and even emotionally, I mean, the fights, yeah, certainly from the action standpoint, big screen, big sound, it's awesome. But there's also, you know, the Karate Kid fabric is a crowd-pleasing story, positivity, families. So it's that communal experience of being and sharing that with a group of people, as opposed to watching it on your phone and saying, oh, that was cool. It's contagious, right? The emotions are contagious. The adrenaline is contagious. So be it that action or drama, or even the quiet moments where you care because you're learning something internal. It's so across the board. There's a shortage of movies for families that are on the big screen, so I'm excited to be part of one of them.
So much of the central theme of the Karate Kids movies is about mentorship, right? And I think in general, and we even see it in this, it's the teacher and the student relationship. But for the relationship between Victor and Lee, that relationship goes in both directions, right? Lee, who has all of these incredible skills and also is at a place where he can actually translate that into cross-disciplinary motion, is able to help Victor. But Victor, as an older male, right, is able to understand the things that Lee is going through and be able to be there for him in a very solid and important way. And I certainly know that mentorship has been really important to me in my life. And I love putting that on screen. And I think that it's a nice wrinkle for the modern age about how relationship dynamics actually work, right? That it's not just that we have to be good students and sit there and transcribe what our mentors tell us. It's that there is an interplay. It is just as important for the grown-up as it is for the child or the young person in those mentor-mentee relationships. It's what I thought was so beautiful about the Miyagi-Daniel-san relationship, is that Miyagi knows that his life is just as much impacted by having Daniel as Daniel's life is by having Miyagi. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a bit of the same relationship between Victor and Lee, is that those two people need each other, right? It's a healthy exchange between the two of them, not just a teacher and a student.
The new stuff in this film, or for this chapter of this now Karate Kid universe, Karate Kid cinematic universe, basically the you know what's the most unique up front is the combining of the two styles, the two branches, one tree. If you've seen any of the marketing or trailer, you know that this exists as part of the selling point. And so you have Mr. Han, Jackie Chan's character from the 2010 remake, and Daniel LaRusso from the original films, coming together with kung fu and karate to create create a martial art form that will lift up this new protagonist in this new story in this new city with new characters and new obstacles. You know, that's something exciting that hasn't been done before, and how we were able to combine the connective tissue that it would make sense with pieces of the original films, or the first sequel, Karate Kid Part 2, giving birth to the knowledge of how China and Okinawa connect, and then LaRusso learning that, and then his inspiration to move forward. So and then it's not a traditional, you know, we've done the tournament, right, in the school gym or the arena, and we've done that in the original series of films. Certainly throughout Cobra Kai, very often it would end there. So what would make your finale something special? Well, you're in New York, so now it's in different arenas, different places all over the city, leading to the culmination to a rooftop, an unfinished skyscraper rooftop. And so now you have a cinematic element that you haven't seen before, that feels a little bit, you know, more street fight combined with organized tournament in the 5 boroughs. So all those pieces and that are layered into this incarnation of a Karate Kid story makes it fresh and new for today's generation. At least, you know, that's the plan, and the feedback seems, you know, that everyone's embracing it. So I'm excited to see that play out around the world.
I was already a fan. I grew up watching every single of the Karate Kid films. They were a staple in my household. I watched them with my dad over and over again. But yeah, I definitely did rewatch them before filming just to make sure I had everything straight. Mia is a teenage girl like any other girl. She's also had to grow up really fast. She lost her mom when she was young, and it's sort of just her and her dad trying to make ends meet in this pizza shop. And she's someone who sees potential in Lee when they first meet before he fully sees it in himself, and I think that's really special. And she holds space for him and for his growth, but she's also on her own sort of path, so that balance was important. It was awesome working with Ben. He's fantastic. He's such a hard worker, and he really put everything he had into this project and into this film, and was just training every second of every day. But also made time to like hang out with me and like go get dumplings and, you know, get to know each other, so that there was some, you know, so we had some chemistry before we were on set, which I think helped everything translate really smoothly and feel a little bit more lived in. And yeah, but he's great. I couldn't say enough good things about him. They're both really trying to protect the other, which I think is a big part of their relationship. They only have each other, and I think that comes like a little bit of pressure, you know. But working with Josh was amazing. He's a fantastic dad in real life. He has a daughter named Juno who's adorable, and he talks about her constantly and gushes about her and how amazing she is. And so he's got like such natural dad energy. So it was really easy to see him in that light. And yeah, that really helped translate onto the screen for sure. Oh my God, this is absolutely a movie you need to see in theaters. It's made for theaters. It's a classic film. I mean, I think what's special is that we really made it feel fresh as far as it being a part of this insane legacy. It feels new, it feels fresh, but we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. It has such a nostalgic, familiar feel. The action is insane. The stunt fight choreography is beautifully done. You need to see it on a big screen in its full form. He definitely has an even and cool exterior. I think that anytime he's freaking out about something, which he was sometimes, but it was pretty internal. But he's also like just a big jokester as well. Like he doesn't really take things too seriously. He knows that he's making a movie and that's the best job there is. So he's happy to be there every day. And he managed the stress of directing a big studio film so well. And yeah, he was a great director. I was really happy to work with him. This movie has something for everybody. It's action-packed, but it's also a coming-of-age story. There's romance, there's turmoil, there's so much heart to it. Even the story between Ben and his mom and his brother that he lost, it's really heartfelt and beautiful. And so there's so many elements to this movie, and it feels like the perfect kind of classic film that you go and take the whole family to see. So I think that people will walk away feeling hopefully just good. You know, it's the you know, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's a good ending. So yeah. A moment that I always remember and come back to is we were filming for days this sort of like finale, like the final fight scene of this tournament. And it's a rooftop set with a raised platform where they fight and this beautiful screen around that's like the city skyline with a sunset. And it's gorgeous. But we're in there for days and there's like 200 background actors in the room with us, and something is like taking a long time to set up, and we're just kind of like waiting around for a little while, and morale is getting low. And so Jackie decides to take the microphone from one of the ADs, get up on this platform stage, and start singing. I can't remember for the life of me what the song was. I need to ask one of the other castmates who were there. He starts singing to the crowd and basically holding like an entire concert on this stage for all the background, and all the background starts singing with him. It was out of a movie. It was amazing. I'll never forget it. It's so fun to watch fight scenes get filmed. I mean, you don't even realize how much time it takes to film one fight scene. There's so many moving parts, so many little beats, so many moments. And so watching Ben do that, you know, doing the same stunt over and over again, you know, pushing his body to the limit. It was amazing. I was like, this is the Karate Kid I'm watching. I was so happy to be there and I was a little jealous. I wanted to get into the action myself. Absolutely. I think that was such a smart idea to sort of blend the culture of karate and kung fu so we can have both of these legends, these masters come together to train the new Karate Kid. I feel like it was like the perfect thing to bring back the Karate Kid movies after, you know, the last one was what, 2010? So it's been a minute. I think that was an epic idea and I love it. I love that we get to have an Asian Karate Kid for the first time. I think that's absolutely overdue and yeah, it's wonderful. New York is New York. It's so cinematic in its own way. I feel like the city of New York is its own character in this movie. It really sets the scene and the tone. You know, Lee's character is coming from Beijing. He's in America for the first time and he meets this crazy New York girl who's just like, you know, says whatever she wants and shows him the ropes of this insane city that he's now a part of. And I think it really adds to the fun of the story for sure.
Working with two great legends was a pleasure and an honor. And I think they were from two very different places and from two very to make two very different pieces for the movie. Jackie is obviously Jackie Chan and a martial arts expert. And because we were very, very much martial arts focused in wanting to make sure the movie really stood out, when Jackie arrived, he was like, just every single thing was a new idea, a new amazing thing. I pick up this shoe, I do all of this, I use this pan. And so he added so much value. When Ralph came to us to film his scenes, it was nothing more than the Karate Kid. He was there. He walked on set and there he was. And this has been him since he was a kid. And that kind of aura around it, especially for him and Jackie side by side, it really created that kind of relationship that they have as the two characters in the movie, but also in real life. It's exactly that. It was a very challenging role, some very, very challenging shoes to try and find to fill. We needed somebody who was obviously a native Mandarin speaker, who was also an amazing actor. And on top of that, could also do the martial arts that I'd wanted, which was in camera, which was leading with that Hong Kong style. So I already knew he was an incredible actor from the tapes and from all of our audition process that we did, the screen tests. But it was only really when I saw him truly connect to the approach to the martial arts, the training that he did, so that the minute Jackie arrived on set, Ben was like, okay, Jackie, let's go. I can do everything. And he was like, wow, okay, this is a new thing. So that level of stepping up, because he knew how important it was for the theatrical feeling of the movie, that the action was awesome. The Karate Kid franchise and the fights have lived on television for quite a long time now. And so for me, it was very important to find a way to elevate those fights and elevate those sequences for a theatrical audience to take this new chapter out into the world. And so for me, and I joked with everybody at the beginning, I was like, guys, we're going to do this for real. People are actually going to get hit. We're going to do the kicks. Everything's going to be for real. And I'm not sure anybody believed me until the stunt guy and the stunt coordinator, Pong Zhang, who's just a fabulous, incredible stunt director, arrived, and he was like, Jonathan, I got you. Everyone's getting punched in the face. This is going to be amazing. So we started this whole process, great training, everybody trained, to the point where when Josh Jackson arrived on set, he was like, okay, let's go. He did one training session with the stunt team, and he was like, these guys are amazing. Punch me in the face. So we had all of these sequences to do that. And what I feel is that when you sit in the theater and you see real fighting beautifully choreographed on the screen with absolute experts delivering real connection on the screen, you can feel that. And for me, it was so important that we elevated the fights. There is a martial arts in the title of this movie. So I really wanted to make sure that that energy was in there. But more importantly, there was a little heightened energy, a little humor. That's what Jackie brings to all of this. And so it was, how do we do fights that feel real with a little sprinkle of the Jackie Chan magic dust to elevate it? It was very important to me that we did something a little different without breaking the mold, because I think the audience has an expectation that we're going to be playing in a certain sandbox. And I think we really, really did that. That was important to me that we kept that. But I hope the approach to the way the movie feels on screen, the way the fights are, the way the music works, the way all of these things flow to take us to this big finale that I wanted to feel like we're in Lord of the Rings, a big fight high up with the sunset. I think that was something that was really important to drive us to that piece. And so I hope that it has enough of the essence of the original Karate Kid and subsequently some of the things that were played within Cobra Kai, and it just reinvents the way it's delivered, but it's still got a lot of the heart and the action that people want. When we were shooting, there's a couple of things for me. It was Jackie Chan's first day on set, which was the kitchen fight, where he was right in there and he was picking up pans and all sorts of random stuff. That was just a masterclass to witness him piece together the best things for that. But also the finale of the movie. Jackie, Mr. Han, does not need, it needs more than just karate teaching, the kicks and the punches. He needs the essence of Miyagi. And he goes all the way to find Daniel LaRusso because he knows that's where the essence of Miyagi lies, in Daniel, and brings him to meet Lee to give him that inspiration. Josh Jackson playing Victor Lipani it's a fabulous role for Josh, that he came in and he was just outstanding. And like I said, he was already reasonably well trained boxing, so he was amazing, but he came in and he really committed, and he survived me quoting Dawson's Creek to him every day, which is something that I'm sure he got very annoyed of after a while. And Sadie Stanley was my number one pick immediately for me. The minute I saw her, I was like, she is special. She is outstanding. Her ability to just nail every scene, first take. And they had so many challenges between the actors because Sadie was always perfect. And obviously, Wyatt Olive, who I'd worked with on my other show, I'm Not Okay With This. I wrote the part for him because I was just like, we need the sidekick. And he was like, oh man, I have to be the sidekick again. And I was like, yep, let's go. So he came on board, and he's just one of the most beloved characters. When we first started showing this movie to people, everyone was like, Ben's amazing, Jackie, Ralph, amazing, Josh, wow, Sadie, amazing, but oh my God, this Alan guy, we love him. So that was really great. Ming-Na came to us really, really early on in the process, actually. And when we had Ben in there, he was like, wait, what? Mulan is my mom? Like, this is how is this possible? I got Jackie as my uncle, Mulan as my mom. So for Ming-Na, it was just an amazing opportunity, I think, for her to come in and play this role where she was learning about what it was to feel about Lee through this lens of being the mom. And so I think it was really interesting, all of the interactions we had about like, well, a Chinese mom would not let him do this. He's doing all of these types of things. So there was a great conversation between all of those all the time.